When you're ready for space exploration, press start. The universe contains billions and billions of galaxies. And this one, called the Milky Way, contains 300 billion stars. Sounds a lot, but it's kind of average for a galaxy. One of those 300 billion stars is our Sun. Yes, the one you see in the sky in the daytime. 8 planets move in orbit around the Sun. Click on the one that you're sitting on. Yup, that's planet Earth. Moving out from the Sun, we pass Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. All these planets are kept in orbit by powerful gravitational forces. Otherwise, they'd just float off into space. Here is tiny Pluto. It used to be considered the 9th planet in our solar system, but in 2006, scientists decided it was too small. Now it's known as a dwarf planet instead. This is the Earth seen from space. As the planets move along, they spin around too. Let's take a look from above the North Pole. From here, you can see the Earth spinning anti-clockwise. Each rotation takes 24 hours, which is why each day is 24 hours long. When you are on the light side, the side lit by the sun, it's daytime. And when you're on the dark side, it's night. Looking at the Earth from the side now, we can see that it spins towards the east. See Britain on there? It's about to move from the shadow into light. That's from night into day. Let's look at it in a different way. So we're on the ground, in the dark, looking south and waiting for the sunrise as our part of the planet moves into the light. Click where you think the sun will appear. Well done, spot on. Because we're spinning towards the east, the sun first appears in the eastern sky. It's the same at night with the moon and the stars. They seem to move from east to west as the Earth spins. But don't forget that as well as spinning, we're also moving through space. It takes 365 days for the Earth to go once all the way around the sun. And that is why a year is 365 days long. Except when it's a leap year. Because the Earth takes slightly more than 365 days to orbit the sun, we need to make a correction to the calendar. So every 4 years, we add an extra day to February. If you're born on February the 29th, it's a 4-year wait between birthdays. Another thing about our planet is that it's a little bit wonky. Earth's axis, that's the line from the North Pole to the South Pole, is tilted. That gives us the seasons. How? Let's see. Watch what happens as the Earth orbits the Sun. The UK is in the northern half of the northern hemisphere of Earth. When our half of the planet is tilted towards the Sun, it feels warmer, days are longer, and nights are shorter. People wear less. It's summertime. 6 months later, we're on the other side of the Sun, and now we're tilted away from it. Days are shorter, nights are longer. You're in your warm clothes, and it's winter. Brrr. Here's a question. When it's winter in the UK, where on earth is it summer? Exactly. In Australia, they have summer in December. Christmas dinner on the beach, anyone? We've seen that the Earth orbits the Sun. Okay. But we also have our very own satellite orbiting Earth, the Moon. The Moon is made of rock and, unlike the stars, can't produce any light of its own. All that silvery moonlight, it's just reflected from the Sun. The Moon orbits the Earth, held neatly in place by gravity. It takes 28 days to go around once. You can see here how sometimes the Moon is in the same part of the sky as the Sun, and sometimes it's on the opposite side, and sometimes it's halfway between. That's why when you look up at the Moon, it looks different day by day. We call these different appearances the phases of the Moon, like the full moon and the new moon. Pull the Moon round its orbit to watch it change phase. Once in every 28 days, you can't see the Moon at all. Many people think that's because the Earth is shading the moon, but that's not right. You can see here it's because the moon has its shadow side facing the Earth. This is known as the new moon. Of course, the moon isn't the only satellite orbiting the Earth. There are thousands of human-made satellites in orbit too. They're shot up there by rockets to do many different things, observe weather patterns, send TV and communication signals, or just to spy on other countries. Other satellites collect information about space itself, like space telescopes. Scientists use them to study things we can see in space, but can't yet travel to. Things in our solar system, our galaxy, and the furthest regions of deep space. Ready for a recap? Gravitational forces keep planets in orbit round the Sun and satellites in orbit around planets. The Earth takes 24 hours, 1 day, to complete one rotation on its axis. And the Earth takes 1 year to orbit once around the Sun. The Earth spins at a slight angle on its orbital path. Its tilt towards or away from the Sun is what gives us seasons. The Moon takes 28 days to orbit the Earth. During this time, we see different phases of the Moon.